Welcome to F124. If you haven't kept up with the news, F124 added a ton of new content to Career Mode, so that's what we're going to do this video. This is going to be episode 1 of a new Career Mode series. One of the most exciting things about these new updates to Career Mode is you can use Career Mode and play as an existing driver on the grid. You don't have to make your own character. So I've been deciding, kind of debating who I want to use. I think I'm going to go with Fernando Alonso and try to get that 3rd championship. Alright, here we are in Monaco. Here's Fernando looking fantastic on the balcony. Nice! So these contract negotiations are brand new for Career Mode. You can see our rating on the right, and we can set a goal for our rating at the end of the season on the left. So signing in at 94 overall. So obviously this is new too. We're at the new season grid reveal, which is honestly always something I wish they'd add to this game. So it's pretty cool to actually see everyone walking around checking out the cars and stuff. It's cool. I gotta say, the character models in this year's game look pretty good. Like the face scanning or face recognition or whatever, it looks pretty decent. Alright, there's the whole grid. Now let's get into the first race weekend at Bahrain. Alright, so we're going to be doing a full-length season, so the full calendar of races, obviously round 1 starting in Bahrain. I'm hopping into practice now. I'm going to use these practice sessions to kind of tweak the car, change the setup a little bit. I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding the handling model in this year's game, but to be honest, I do think that's a little bit overblown. I have a full-length review on the handling linked in the corner if you want to check that out after this video, but yeah, it's not as bad. So Bahrain's a very strong track for me. I'm feeling pretty confident around here. Just gonna bank these resource points, get as much as we possibly can, tweak the setup, and then we can hop right into qualifying. Alright, into Q1 right now. For this entire Career Mode series, we're going to be doing a full-length qualifying session, so that means Q1, Q2, and Q3, and the race is going to be a 50% race, so in Bahrain, that's about 28 or 29 laps, I believe, around the track. So, feeling pretty confident on this lap, only doing 1 lap right at the end of Q1. Obviously, making it out of Q1 in an Aston Martin shouldn't really be an issue. We'll see where we place. Felt like a strong lap. 5th place in Q1. Okay, so into qualifying 2 now. We're going to be doing 2 laps in this session, 1 at the very beginning and 1 at the very end to see where it puts us. So our first lap is coming to an end right here. Up to the line, we set a 1:29.3, and that puts us in 2nd place. Not really indicative of where our pace actually is, because that was right at the beginning of the session. This is us starting our 2nd and final lap in qualifying 2 here, and we're going to see if we can get out of Q2. Again, Bahrain's a pretty strong track for me. I do feel really comfortable around here. The car is feeling really good, I have to say. Front end rotation is really good. The rear end isn't slipping out too much. Making kind of very, very minor mistakes here, but overall feeling pretty confident. So purple in Sector 2 right there, obviously a very good sign. And we'll see where it's going to put us at the end of the lap. So final corner is behind us now, up to the line. We're going to see what we've set. It's a 1:29.0, and that puts us in 2nd place. So we're through to Q3. Okay, into Q3 now. We're going to be doing the exact same thing. So 1 banker lap at the beginning of the session and 1 push lap at the very end. So since we set a 1:29 in Q2, I'm hoping to finish the session with maybe mid 1:28s, high 1:28s. Something around there. So just knock off a couple tenths, and that should give us a pretty good shot at least a top 5 start on the grid. So rounding the final corner for our first lap in Q3, and we set a 1:28.7, so 3 tenths off our Q2 time, and that's definitely a good start to the session. So on our final lap of Q3 now, and we're starting the lap here. This is it, make or break here. So we're in 3rd position right now on the grid. Definitely need to knock off maybe a tenth or 2, and that is maybe within distance of a pole position, but we're going to have to see. Getting a little close to track limits right there, but overall the car's feeling really good. I'm definitely feeling very confident. Green in Sector 1, so that's a good sign, and we'll see what we do. Using the full width of the track right there, definitely feeling very confident. Purple in Sector 2 right here. A little bit wide right there, but hopefully that's not too much of a problem. Again, this lap is feeling pretty clean, barring that 1 kind of small mistake. Around the final corner right now, onto the main straight, and we'll see what kind of time we can set. Our final lap in Q3, this is it. Across the line, and we set a 1:28.5, so that's going to put us at pole position. So pole position for the first round in Bahrain. Definitely a good way to start the season.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Fernando Alonso yesterday puts him on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Norris, Verstappen, Joe, Hamilton, Stroll, Albon, Hulkenberg.
All right, parked up on the grid now. We're going to take a little bit of fuel out, but we're looking at our race strategy, and we're going to go with the 2-stop strategy, as it's going to be a little bit faster. So 8 laps on mediums, followed by 8 more laps on mediums, and then that hard compound tire for the last 13 laps of the 29 around here in Bahrain. So formation lap is underway. We're getting the tires warmed up, and we're getting ready to go. But this is a really good opportunity for a win here. At the very beginning of the season, the R&D and the development for all the cars on the grid is very close together. There's not a really big margin of difference for pace from the back markers all the way up to the top teams. Once we get to the end of the season, that's when you see teams start to pull away. So this is a really good opportunity, especially from pole position, to go for a win. So anyway, the 5 red lights are coming on for round 1 of F124 Career Mode, and 5 red lights are off. We are racing in Bahrain. It looks like a pretty good start so far, not really too much wheel spin. Perez already looks like a threat around the outside. We're going to position our car towards the middle of the track to deter any kind of move from Perez around the outside. Get through turn 1, still in the lead, so that's always a good sign. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of defending this race, especially for a pole position and not being in one of those Red Bulls or those Ferraris. Perez again for a move around the outside. We stick it to the inside and again deter him from a move around the outside. At the end of lap 1 now, we get a really bad line through here, and Perez gets a switch back on us. Now it's going to be a drag race down into turn 1 of lap 2. We're going to dump the ERS here and just try to outmuscle him on this straight, but around the outside is definitely going to be a very favorable position for us. I think we can kind of just swoop around, break evenly right here, swoop around the outside. Looks like Perez is going to take a lot of curb right there, and now we get the inside for the next corner, and we can kind of close the door right here. So definitely have a lot of pressure from Perez behind so far this race. On lap 3 now, you can see Perez again going for a move. This time we have the inside, he is the outside. Gonna brake evenly, he's a little bit ahead under braking. We take the inside right there, and we're still side by side to the next corner. I leave him a little bit too much space. We go off the track right there. Luckily, no warning for track limits. And now we have DRS down the second straight. A little bit of a hesitation, choosing the outside right there. Going to leave a lot of space for this corner. Make sure we avoid any type of incident. Maybe, again, too much space and being too generous. Perez is side by side through us. Luckily, he backs out right there. That would have been very messy if he tried to go for that. So thank God he backed out. But you can already see a lot of pressure from Perez behind only on lap 3. So again, like I said earlier, I think there's going to be a lot of defending this race. On lap 6 now, and Leclerc and Perez have swapped positions, so it looks like Leclerc is going to be the one making a run at me, and I think that's going to be right now. We're going to defend this outside line as hard as we can. We really don't want the outside, and Leclerc's going to go for a move up the inside here, late braking here, passing him in the braking zone, swooping around the outside right there. Now this turns into the inside for us. That's why the outside line is so preferable there. But Leclerc is going to have DRS right now. He can definitely go for a move up the inside. Going to try to position our car a little bit towards the middle of the track, weaving a little bit right there. And luckily that deters Leclerc from making a move up the inside. So again, more pressure now coming from Leclerc's Ferrari. So on to lap 8 right now, across the line in a second here. Our pit window is now open. So we have to really make sure we don't have any problems with the pit stop. It's not really in our control, but any problems with the pit stop could be race ending for us. You can see how close the gap is on the timing on our left here. So if we have a really slow pit stop, that could spell out issues for the rest of the race here. So out of the final corner on lap 8 now, heading into the pit lane. It looks like Leclerc is going to follow us in. He's also on the medium compound tires. Good entry into the pit lane, shaving off the bare minimum of speed upon entry. And we're into the pit box momentarily here. Hopefully no issues. And it looks like we have an issue. The right rear is really slow to come off, definitely delayed. And now we're stuck with 2 cars passing us. And now we're behind Leclerc. So Leclerc jumped us in the pits. But luckily, he's on the hard compound tire. So hopefully that means we can pass him at some point soon. Maybe within the next couple of laps. We're going to really need to try to get past him as fast as we possibly can. Huge lockup into the first corner out of the pit lane. But yeah, we definitely need to try to pass Leclerc as soon as we can to gain that position back and then put as much distance between me and him as we possibly can. He's on the hard compound tires now. It'll be a little bit slow for now, but he's going to be on the mediums at the very end of the race. So if his race goes according to plan, he's going to be definitely a threat at the later stages of this race. So heading into the final corner of lap 10 now, skipping forward only 1 lap, and it looks like right now might be a time where we can strike on Charles Leclerc. Going to have DRS on this straight. I'm not going to use ERS since we're a little bit low. Going to try to manage that as best as we can, but maybe we have a chance up the inside with the DRS and the slipstream. Shaping up for a move up the inside now, braking as late as I can. I don't think it's going to be enough. Taking a little bit too much curb right there. Maybe a little bit of contact with Charles Leclerc's side pod right there. But luckily, we have DRS down this second straight. We can definitely go for a move up the inside right here. Leclerc, last second, kind of weaves towards the middle. And luckily, we get through up the inside. It looks like Perez passes Leclerc as well, which is definitely not what we wanted to see. We wanted Leclerc to hold up Perez as much as he could on those hard compound tires. So now we're really going to have to kick it into gear and try to put as much distance as we can between us and Leclerc, because he's going to be on those medium compound tires later on in this race. Already a lot of pressure from Sergio Perez up the inside into the final corner of Sector 2 here. We're going to try to swoop around the outside, and it looks like we're still side by side with Perez. Going to dump the ARS now, and hopefully we can get alongside by here, take him up the inside. And it's a lot of defending from these guys behind, I'll tell you. This might get pretty exhausting, but Sergio Perez definitely going to go for a move up the inside. It looks like you're going to really defend this outside line. I do really prefer the outside in pretty much every corner right here. Late braking as much as we can, just try to squeeze them out and close the door as much as we can while leaving the minimum amount of space to not have any contact right there. It looks like there's a lot of competition heading into turn 1 right now. We have Leclerc and Perez pretty much side by side, both of whom have DRS. And we have 2 more cars behind, Verstappen and Piastri. We take the inside this time around. A lot of curb, a lot of contact with the side pod of Perez there. And now we have a good run into this next straight, and we're going to have DRS. So behind Perez now, me and him have DRS. Leclerc is the one who loses out, and we're going to go up the inside on Sergio Perez right here, and this should be no problem. So unfortunately, a lot of contact, but luckily no front wing damage. We have to really make sure we don't have any damage. Again, this is a really good opportunity for a win. Any damage that can really, screw with our front wing, screw with our performance, that's definitely going to be something to avoid. It looks like Perez is already really close behind us, only 2 tenths starting on this straight. And it looks like we might not really have anything to fight him with here. I have a good amount of battery to use, but I don't think there's any point. He's going to pass us by a full car length ahead of the braking zone here. So Perez has a very nice, clean overtake up the inside here. Hopefully we're close enough to go for something on the main straight. We will have DRS, so we're going to be within a good shout of an overtake into the first corner. So we just got to stick with him as much as we can here. Going to use the ERS to try to stick as close as we can to Perez into this final corner. Late braking, really close. Big lockup into that final corner. A little bit surprised I was that close to him right there, but now drag racing down to the first corner on lap 13. Now DRS is enabled, and we should have no problem getting past him. It looks like Verstappen is also going to be going up the inside of Perez, so he's getting overtaken by 2 cars at once. Verstappen makes that move stick up the inside, and we muscle him out. We continue to have first place, and now Verstappen is the car behind. Out of the final corner on lap 15, it's turning into lap 16 right now as we go across the line. Our pit window is open, and a lot of pressure from Verstappen behind. It looks like he might go for a move up the inside. Again, we're defending this outside line as hard as we can. He passes us in the braking zone, takes a lot of curb, and we're just going to swoop around the outside nice and wide, leave a lot of room, and we get the inside for the next corner, and we get DRS since Verstappen passed us ahead of the braking zone right there. So lucky for us, we have a little bit of breathing room. As I say that as we go wide, as soon as we have that small advantage, we give it up pretty much instantly. Luckily, no overtaking opportunities through these S's right here and into this next section of the lap. But we've done a good job keeping Verstappen behind, leaving lap 16 now into the pit lane, and hopefully, again, no issues with the pit stop. A little bit slow into the entry right there, but nothing too crazy. So again, hopefully no problems with the pit stop. I don't know where Leclerc is in this race. I didn't see him on the timing board, so again, if I'm on worn hards at the end of this race and he's on mediums, that might be a problem for us. Luckily, pit stop goes smoothly, no problems with it, and we're exiting in 18th position behind both of the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. The Visa, you know what I'm talking about. Alright, on lap 19 now, so skipping ahead a couple laps, very close to Ricciardo and Tsunoda in those Racing Bulls. Losing a little bit of time to Lando Norris behind, stuck behind these guys though, but I'm using them for DRS, so maybe we can go for a move on Ricciardo into this corner. Really late braking right there. Very similar to that instance with Perez, kind of a surprise overtake into that final corner. But onto the main straight now, maybe we can get Yuki into the first corner as well. That'd be really nice to get both the Racing Bulls in the span of 2 corners. Switch to the inside. Late braking here, might be going a little bit wide at the first corner, just a little wide. And luckily we get past both of those. So now we only have to hope that Lando Norris gets stuck behind both of these guys. So we've had we've had Verstappen, we've had Perez, we've had Leclerc, and now we have Norris that's going to be pressuring us from behind as well. He's also on the hard compound tires, so this is true position, this is true pace. And it looks like Lando is going to finally go for a move on Ricciardo around the outside. He's still sticking pretty close to me and Tsunoda. Unfortunately, I haven't really been to break away from Tsunoda yet, given that he has DRS on every main straight. So quite annoying that I haven't really been able to break free of Tsunoda. So hopefully Lando can lose a lot of time behind Yuki, but it's, I don't know, it's getting a little stressful. On lap 22 of 29 now, you can see Norris passed Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki, I believe, went into the pit lane. Ricciardo is still out, and now I have Norris and Verstappen. Verstappen's 2.5 seconds behind, now fully defending from Lando Norris, who just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:31, and he's going to go for a move around the outside. I was trying to break the toe, stick to the inside, and we're going to have the inside line here, luckily keeping it close to the inside curb right there, and we're going to take the inside, kind of muscle him out towards the left side of the track right there. But Verstappen is now catching up a little bit. He's 7/10 behind. Lando is still 4/10 behind. So unfortunately, the battling with Lando is opening up the race to Verstappen behind. So he's getting closer and closer with each lap. On lap 24, turning into 25 momentarily. And it looks like Leclerc is nowhere to be found. Sainz is 5 seconds behind. And I guess we're not really having to worry about Leclerc. So luckily that pit stop didn't totally screw us over. But we should still be a couple of seconds in front of these guys. Verstappen passes Norris into the braking zone. We're taking it nice and wide through there. We knew there were 2 cars behind us that we might be going for overtakes. So luckily no contact and no incidents right there. But now Verstappen is going to be the one that we have to worry about. So again, more defending from behind. Verstappen goes for a move up the inside. Going to leave him as much space as we possibly can. Again, don't want any damage in our car this late in the race. Going to try to drive as aggressively yet as cautiously as we can. We really want to avoid any type of incident. So luckily through here we're a little bit quicker than the AI through those S's right there. So we make up a little bit of time. We have a couple tenths to our name once we get through those S's. And now we're going to be into another straight where it seems like every single straight we're having to defend from someone behind. So hopefully Verstappen doesn't have a run here. And it looks like he's going to have a pretty good run. Maybe go for a move up the inside, or maybe not. He decides, I guess, not to use ERS, not to use battery, and go for an overtake right there. He's probably going to stick it out and wait for either this upcoming straight or the main straight of heading into turn 1. So now is when I have to be really cautious with my battery usage. I don't want to overuse the battery because it can leave me completely, with nothing to defend with on one of these main straights. And it feels like my straight line speed is definitely lacking compared to these guys. Every single straight we have something to defend against. So on lap 26 now, it looks like Verstappen is again going to have a really good run. He's going for a move up the inside, passing us before the braking zone. Under braking now, hopefully we can try to swoop around the outside. It might just be a little bit too far ahead. Luckily, he takes a lot of curb up the inside. A little bit sketchy on the exit right there. Luckily, he takes a lot of curb up the inside, and we can just swoop around, no problem. Again, through these S's, not really a place to overtake for the AI, so this is just kind of a nice spot for some breathing room to at least try to recharge my battery. You can see in the bottom, I'm at 100% battery. I've had it off for a little while, and now we're deploying it back into medium usage mode. So now we have a little bit of ERS to help us out, and we're definitely going to be utilizing that overtake mode to defend from these guys. You can see down to 30%, already dumping the ERS on the main straight. Lap 27, we have the inside this time around. Verstappen passes us around the outside, really close to contact with the front 2 wheels right there. He's going to have the inside for this upcoming corner, and now he's ahead of us on this final straight. Only 2 laps remaining. We have DRS now, going to switch towards the inside and maybe go for a move up the inside of Verstappen, and we get that lead right back. As soon as we lose it, we get it back instantly. Norris passes Verstappen up the inside as well, so now Lando is the one behind us, and now he's going to be the one attacking, again, I'm sure, on the main straight. So a lot of defending in the late stage of this race. My tires are feeling like they're dropping off a little bit. My front left especially is, I've been locking up through a couple corners, so my front left is really feeling the heat right now, and I'm just hoping they hold on to the end of the race, and I can at least keep defending from these guys for as long as I possibly can. Anyway, heading into the final corner of the penultimate lap of this race in Bahrain, and you can see it looks like Lando and Max have been fighting a little bit behind. They're losing a lot of time pace-wise. You can see Lando is 7 or almost 8 tenths now on this stage of the main straight behind me. So them fighting is going to really help me out, especially into turn 1. I'm not really having to defend, and this is crucial for my battery usage. I'm not having to use battery on the main straight to defend, so I'm saving it for later on the lap. You can see them going side by side through turn 1. Look at how much time they're losing. Over a second behind me now, out of DRS range. Now it's nice and easy for me. I just have to coast through these corners and make it to the end of the lap with no mistakes, no problem whatsoever. So these two fighting is going to really help me out. Classically in the F1 games, the AI really kicking up a gear on the last lap, so that's what they're doing right now, and they're losing a lot of time for it. The car is hanging on though. The front left does still feel really, really bad. It really feels like it's dropping off just because of those lockups around certain corners, but still a second behind, so in front of DRS range. And now into the final corner. 2 seconds is the difference between me and second place, so no problem whatsoever. Around the final corner, onto the main straight now, and that's gonna be it from pole position. Starting the race on pole position across the line, we finish in first. It's a Fernando Alonso victory in round 1 in Bahrain. Very good race, a lot of defending, definitely lacking a little bit of straight line speed. I definitely am gonna do some investing in the aerodynamics department and the engine department to make sure we increase our straight line speed for the following rounds of this season. But it's definitely going to be a good season. Fernando has the pace to compete. I don't really know where Lance ended up. I didn't see him once all race, but first place finish for Alonso is absolutely fantastic. It's the best result we could have hoped for, and like I said at the beginning, this was a great opportunity for a win. We had to take it. This is crucial to the long-term success of this season. So you can see Lance Stroll ended up down a position, finishing in 12th place, so we definitely look a little bit better than our teammate. Alright, very quickly we're going to do some investing into our R&D. We're going to do both of our resource points, our allocated resource points, into aerodynamics, so hopefully that helps with a little bit less drag and overall just cornering and handling and all that jazz. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be posting a lot more F124 content, so if you like this series, please leave a like on the video, leave a comment, and feel free to join my Discord, which is linked in the description. So anyway, again, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.